clients have any closing argument?
Yes, but first I ask that I be able to dismantle opposing counsel's demonstrative in order to set up my own.
You may. I don't think you want to dismantle it. We
Just take it.
Blow it up. Light it on fire. She's always using big letters.
You can dismantle his argument.
It's just like being a real judge with Sean around because he laughs at all the jokes.
There aren't little green check marks. Because they're not coming off.
We need the expo spread.
I brought that with me today. I'll keep some in my office for next weekend.
Yeah, and whatever marker you stole from your kids.
Right, so now
That
just pretend
that
like
washable
that's
only
okay.
had a BC worked great.
All right.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, members of the court, your honors. A judgment call. This is something news reporters and professionals are asked to make every single day. On the scene of a breaking news story, it is the people's right to know, and it's the media's responsibility and privilege to inform them. Now, the very nature of breaking news requires a judgment call to be made quickly and accurately. And on September 24th of 2006, Reagan Thomas was asked to make the biggest judgment call of his career. Now, as the judge will inform you, the plaintiff has the burden of proof today. They must prove to you that all 5 of these elements of libel by clear and convincing evidence. They must prove to you that each one of those is substantially more likely than not to have occurred. The defense submits to you that they can do nothing of the sort. Now, while we do not admit that they have proven any of these 5 elements, we would like to show you how impossible it would be for them to have proven 2 of them. I'd like to first direct your attention to element B. The statement is false. You heard today from Drew Walton, the plaintiff in this matter. You heard her say how she was practicing self-defense when she removed a semi-automatic weapon from her vehicle, turned the safety off, and approached a man, Lane Hamilton, who outwardly spoke against guns. He was known to fear them. Still, she pulled this weapon out of her vehicle and approached a man. She then told the court today that a look of sadness and acceptance came across his face, and that upon seeing the weapon, she calmed down and wanted to comfort this man. However, he became thoroughly and completely unwound. He took a weapon that he was supposedly afraid of, put it to his temple, and fired a shot? Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked a lot about common sense and judgment today. If you use your common sense, you can see that it just didn't happen like that. You heard from Drew Walton today, and you heard that it's not unusual for her to take up violence against those that she feels intimidated or threatened by. If she feels scared, she takes out a weapon. And where was clear and convincing evidence, ladies and gentlemen? You heard from Dr. Christine Caironi today. You heard that she said Lane Hamilton was never suicidal, not in 2003, and not 2 weeks before Lane Hamilton committed suicide. You also had the autopsy and evidence for you today. The doctors that put together that autopsy could not come to a positive conclusion as to whether Lane Hamilton committed suicide or homicide. That's not clear and convincing, ladies and gentlemen. Homicide and suicide are equally likely, not substantially more than likely. The plaintiff has not met their burden of proof and has not proven that the statement was false. I'd now like to direct your attention to element D. The statement is at fault for the publication. As the judge will instruct you, since Ms. Walton is a public figure, the responsibility of fault comes with the burden of actual malice. Actual malice means that either BNN knew that the statement was false and published it anyway, or they acted with a reckless disregard for the statement's possible falsity. Mr. Reagan Thomas this afternoon. He told you the meticulous and careful steps that he took in order to come to the conclusion. He interviewed all eyewitnesses and discounted those that were absolutely incredible. The plaintiff would like you to believe that by not listening to Casey French or Jan Patel or attending Drew Walton's press conference that he was acting recklessly. We submit to you the exact opposite. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Casey French is an employee of Walton's. Her vantage point was first of all poor in that she saw the entire event through a rearview mirror of an unlit parking lot, of an unlit car at night. She also happens to be on Walton's payroll, and if Miss Walton doesn't have a job in the morning, neither will Miss French. She's clearly biased in the matter and therefore cannot be listened to or cited. Furthermore, you heard from Jan Patel today. He told you how he lied to Reagan Thomas and said that he saw Lane Hamilton commit suicide when he never saw anything of the sort. It's also ironic that the plaintiff would like you to believe that Reagan Thomas acted recklessly when he only took 15 minutes to create this report. However, they would like us to include testimony from a man who made a remote, as he told you today, assumption based on a 30-second lay observation. It doesn't make sense. Furthermore, Drew Walton is quite possibly the most biased witness out of them all. If Reagan Thomas attended that press conference, he would have been listening to the most biased source. As we heard from Riley Faith today, listening to biased sources means you are incredible. You must listen to those that are credible in order to retain your credibility. While we're speaking about Riley Faith, you heard how he told you that Reagan Thomas did not violate any ethical standards. He used words that may have been inflammatory, but he also used words to negate those inflammatory statements, like so many questions, so few answers. Uncertainty surrounds this case. While this may not have been a pinnacle of journalistic excellence, it was by no means a violation of any of these standards. The plaintiff has not proven that the defendant is at fault for any kind of publication. Ladies and gentlemen, your honors, Reagan Thomas was asked to make the biggest judgment call of his career on the night of September 24th of 2006. Today, you are asked to do the same. We ask that you are like our own Reagan Thomas and use your common sense and good judgment. After careful contemplation, we are positive that you will return with a verdict that finds in favor of DNN. Thank you.
Bottom? Yes, John. How much time do I have?